Hello, everybody. My name is Kalel, and welcome to this podcast on layering fundamentals. Today, we're going to be covering basic layering techniques and organization of nodes inside of Nuke. Now, before we get started, let's go ahead and talk about the most commonly used node, the merge. Now, there's multiple ways you can call this node in. You can hit tab and type it in, or you can right-click and go down to merge and call it in that way, or use the shortcut M. All right. Now, this node is the backbone of all composite scripts done inside of Nuke. It's a powerful node that allows us to combine multiple files together and RGBA data. Now, if you look at the node itself, it's got two primary inputs, A and B, one output, and a mask input. Okay. Now, A and B affect each other through the Operations tab in the Properties bin. By default, it's set to over. Now, since A is before B in the alphabet, whatever is hooked up to A will be put over B. If you open the Operations tab, you'll see that there's different types of operators. These blending options are similar to the ones you'll find in Photoshop. Now, to keep this simple and basic, we're just going to be using over for most of this project. Okay, so this is the scene that we're going to be working with today. Our main actress interacting with the environment, and then we have this fox that's playing hide and go seek. Let's go ahead and pause this for right now and let's talk about the assets. Your first asset that you were given was the background matte painting. And then here we have the window replacement for the matte painting, the main actress, boxes that include the fox, couch, and the table. All right, let's go ahead and get started. First, let's grab our matte painting. First thing to notice is that our matte painting is at a 1920 by 1080 resolution. It's quite large. The project setting for this is going to be 1280 by 720. So first, let's double check our project settings. If your mouse is over the node graph, hit S. And under here, under full size format, make sure it's set to 1280 by 720. All right. Once we check that, we are now going to have to reformat this guy to fit that 1280 by 720 resolution that we want. So go ahead and call in a reformat node. You'll see that our resolution changes. Now, that doesn't affect the main pass because we stack this node underneath it. So it's basically a non-destructive workflow. We're not destroying the original resolution, we're just changing it. It's better to start out with a bigger resolution and then dropping res. So with that, we're going to go ahead and merge our background window, call in a merge node just by hitting M. That way. All right, so let's pull back out. Now you see this 1920 by 1080 resolution has come back. Now the reason why that is because our window replacement needs to be reformatted as well. So if you select your reformat node, Command C, Command V to copy and paste. Now we hit 1 on this guy, it changes our resolution to 1280 by 720. Right. While I'm doing this, I'm also thinking about organization. All right, this merge node, and as you can see, our window doesn't really match up to the or our background matte painting doesn't match up to the window. Now we're gonna have to transform this guy. Okay, so let's go ahead and tab transform and move this into position. Now where are we gonna put this transform node? We don't want to put the transform node up here. We want to put it underneath the reformat node. So what you can do is just take your transform node, hover over the A line, and put it there, and then reposition this guy to fit like so. All right. Now, another problem we're having is that we have our window replacement in front of our background, and we want it to be behind the window, right? That's because our operator, A and B, needs to be flipped. So select the merge node, Shift X to flip those inputs. Saves you a lot of time rather than dragging these arrows around. Okay, so now that we got that, let's go ahead and add in our next element. Let's go ahead and start out with the couch. Okay, call in another merge node. This time we're going to be going to the left side. Let's go ahead and hit 1 on this guy. Now, our operator is correct here, A over B, but as you can see, the couch is still in front of the table. That's because the table itself was rendered and the matte painting was done with the table in it. That's not a big problem. Since we have the table separate, we're just going to take this guy and put it over the couch and it should line up properly. So now that we got this couch going, let's go ahead and do that. Take this table and merge it over this and hit 1 on this guy. As you can see, like I said before, we're going to be moving top to bottom, right? So we're working our way down. The boxes should go in front of the couch but behind the table. So we're going to put it in between our passes here. Take this guy, hit M again, merge it in, and there we go. What else do we have here? Now our main actress. Now our main actress is going to be behind the table itself, so we're going to take her and merge her here. Perfect. Let's go ahead and give some space here. And the reason why I'm giving space in between these guys is, like I was saying earlier, where we're going to be stacking nodes like this to affect our elements. And the whole reason why we have it separate is so that we have control over what we want our final look to be. So hit 1 on this guy. Let's just double check everything. Everything looks good. Yep, everything is where it needs to be. So now the script setup that we have going on here is, like I said earlier, it is a very basic layering setup. There are other techniques, other more advanced layouts, but for right now we're just going to keep it really basic so that we understand how to use the merge nodes properly. Okay, here underneath the last merge node, we're going to go ahead and tab in a right node. And in this right node, we're going to make sure we render out RGBA. This right node is where we're going to be rendering out our final shot. I want you guys to render out what you have here for right now, just for a turn-in. So let's go ahead and go to our folder structure here. We're going to be writing out a movie file. Hit save. As soon as you put in MOV, as you can see, the right node itself changes. So we have all of these options for MOV. Now, if I change this to JPEG, you see that all my options change for JPEG. And that will happen for whatever extensions you want to use, like TGA. As you can see, it changes for that. But like I said, this project, we're going to be doing .mov. Our codec that we're going to be using is H.264. And then we should be able to render this guy out now. Make sure our frame range input is from frame 1 to 170. And hit OK. In the next podcast, we're going to be going over color correction. We're going to be adding in atmospheric effects that we have for the final shot, like the cropping, color correction, and whatever else we need to finalize this shot.